But yeah, let's see if we can benefit from that. And we brake so late and we absolutely send it up the inside up for... Hey guys, what's up, Redactions here, and welcome back to another ACC video. Now, if you remember previous ACC videos, you'll know that open lobbies on ACC are pretty much always an absolute war zone. That is why this time we are racing on Low Fuel Motorsports. Now, Low Fuel Motorsports is an organization which basically turns ACC into iRacing in terms of matchmaking. When taking part in LFM races, you either gain or lose ELO points. Now, depending on how high this ELO score is, you will race in either one of 4 levels, which are called splits. After grinding to get my ACC safety rating up to 80 and getting through 5 rookie lobbies, I finally obtained my Iron license, which is the lowest non-rookie license there is. I then loaded up my first proper sprint race and got put into split 2, so the second highest level. And oh yeah guys, before we start, make sure to watch this video until the end, because from lap 1 on, all the way to the line is just one hell of a race. Enjoy! Hey guys, welcome to Imola, waiting for the 5 red lights to go out now. There, we must not exceed 70 km/h for the start. 5 red lights, waiting, and away we go. You can see that we actually get a pretty good start. We are actually boxed in now, so we cannot go anywhere, but you can see that we really did get the best start out of the top 4, but you can see that there are 2 people on my inside there, so I have to be a little bit careful into turn 1, which I actually do. Better safe than sorry. Then you can see that the P3 gets 2, he actually goes into P2 now. There's someone on the left hand side there, but we are able to keep around the outside and keep into P4 now. Okay, so we survived the first corner, that's always good, right, if you want to finish the race. Now let's see if we can keep up with the top 3. You can see that we had a little bit of a moment there and run a little bit wide. We actually take some gravel there, but luckily the gap to P5 behind us is big enough, so we can actually just take the normal racing line into this corner. There you can see that we're actually able to keep up with the top 3 there pretty nicely, but you can also see that I'm struggling a little bit with my tire pressures and temperatures. There in the bottom right hand corner you can see all of the 4 tires. You can see that most of them are at around 27 psi. They need to be around between 27 and 28 psi, so they're a little bit on the low side now. You can see also that the left hand side is pretty cold still. And well, you can see that I'm making a little bit of a mistake there. I hit the inside curb in the second part of Acqua Minerale, which allows P5 behind me to catch up a little bit. You can also see that I get a warning for track limits because I exceeded them, of course. Then here you can see that I again make a little mistake. I have a little bit of a moment there. I run right, actually the same as P3 there. And the GTR in P5 is actually able to be, he's pretty much right up my ass now. He tries to have a little look down there into one of the final corners, but I defend it and he doesn't find the gap to go past. Defending like that, it's like the perfect amount. You don't lose too much time by going by staying in the middle, but you also squeeze out the guy, or just not allow him to pass. Well, we survived the first lap. That's always pretty nice, of course. You can see that we actually have a beautiful sunset because this race is actually taking part 8:18 p.m. 8:18 p.m. Well, there's some of my Dutch coming through there. 8:18 p.m. which is, well, a nice sunset, of course. That does mean that the track's a little bit cold now, but you can see that we took a little bit too much curb and that the GTR is again right up our ass cheeks. And you can see that actually P3 is going for a move on P2 there. But what you can also see is that P1 actually loses the back end and goes into the gravel there, so that's another free position for us. Watch out that he doesn't come back into the track into our path, but no, luckily he doesn't. Then you can see that P2 goes for a move on P1. Maybe we can profit from this. We're a little bit far away. But there you can see that they're going side by side into, I don't know, what's it called, Piratella? I don't know, something like that. But yeah, let's see if we can benefit from that. And we brake so late and we absolutely send it up the inside up for P2 there. We are now in P2. That's like the golden rule of racing. If 2 people are racing side by side into a corner, always just drive behind the person who has the inside line. And you can see that we actually hold it around the outside into Acqua Minerale. That was one of the best moves I've ever done in sim racing, and I'm really proud of that. It just brings a big smile to my face thinking back on that. I remember that I was like sweating. I was shaking at this point because it was so intense. But yeah, Low Fuel Motorsports, it's so good, man. If you want to have some clean online racing, but you're too poor for iRacing like me, well, just get ACC and join Low Fuel Motorsport. You have to grind in the game a little bit in order to be good enough to be allowed to do your license run for Low Fuel Motorsport. But once you're in there, it's so much fun, man. You can just see how close the racing is. But there you can also see that we actually get our second warning for track limits. yeah, track limits at this track is just a thing. You can see that the Mercedes actually goes off the track with all 4 wheels constantly, but he doesn't get a penalty or anything for that. In this sim it works in the way that you can go outside of the track limits 3 times, then you get 3 warnings, and then the 4th time you will get a drive-through penalty. But there you can see that the Mercedes actually makes a little bit of a mistake, and now we are right up his gearbox again. Maybe we can think about doing a move into the first corner. There you can see that on the slipstream we're gaining quite a bit. Our straight line speed is actually quite good. Even though the BMW doesn't have the best engine, we are still gaining on him. There you can see how big of a consequence such a little mistake can have. We try to go around the outside because he's covering the inside. Well, it's better to just try something than to just stick behind him. Here you can see he brakes a little bit later. Maybe we can do the switchback. We take a different line again, but we get a little bit of oversteer, and he's able to keep P1 for now. You can actually see in the top left hand corner there that we actually did a purple lap, so our pace really is good. We also pulled away from the guys behind us pretty nicely there. If you look at the minimap, there's already a gap of like 5 seconds behind us. You can see also that the car is just a little bit nervous. I don't know why that is. That's just something I struggled with a little bit in ACC. And with this car especially, when you turn down the traction control just a little bit too low, it tends to get a little bit tail happy on some corner exits. But hey, that's okay, it's a GT car, it's not an F1 car. That's also the thing with these GT cars, man. Racing is so much better there. As you can see that we actually gain quite a lot of time through Pirotella there. You can see that we're going, yeah, 4 turns green now, almost. Oh, but you can see that the Mercedes actually makes a mistake, so we can now again maybe try to go for the overtake into this chicane. Of course, it's not really an ideal overtaking spot. We're still going green. Anyway, we're still faster than the Mercedes, but he is able to keep the position again by massively cutting the second part of the chicane. So that probably was a warning there. You also saw in some earlier footage that you can also get a warning. No, not a warning. Like the stewards see that you cut the track, but they just don't give you any consequence for that. Now you can see that the guy ahead of us actually pulled away against slightly. We're 5 laps later now. But also, yeah, me and him, I don't know what's his name, Charpentier. Well, I'm not really that good at French, but I probably butchered his name anyway. But still, we are still chasing him. We actually pulled away by another 2 seconds from the guys behind us compared to the last time we were on board, which is 5 laps ago. So yeah, we were really in a class of our own, just P1 and P2 there. Well, I actually felt like I had this much pace back in qualifying, but for some reason I just couldn't. Yeah, I just couldn't do a lap. I just kept making little mistakes everywhere, maybe going off track, invalidating my laps. That's usually a thing with me in ACC. Like in qualifying, the track limits are a little bit stricter than in the race, as we can again see that the Mercedes has some creative interpretations of the track limits, if we may quote the F1 Games engineer there. Going into the second part of Acqua Minerale now, that's absolutely my favorite corner of the whole track. And yeah, I just love Imola. I was so happy that that this week was Imola, because the tracks in low fuel motorsport have a rotation. I believe this week the one I'm yeah, recording this commentary actually has Paul Ricard as its track, which is one of my weakest tracks. Yeah, I recorded this video last week, which is when Imola was the track. Now going into lap 9 now, oh no, sorry, lap 10. There's actually 10 more minutes left in this race, so we really have to get past him if we want a chance of winning this race. But there you can see that he gets a little bit shaky there off the exit. We can now maybe use the slipstream again to try and get past him. You can see that our straight line speed really is not that bad. Our V8 twin turbo is actually making some nice inroads on the Mercedes there. Let's see if we can go for a move there. We absolutely go for it. We send it, but we are just a little bit too far behind, and we make contact and we both spin. That's so unfortunate. That's maybe a little bit my fault, maybe a racing incident, I don't know. You guys tell me who was at fault there. Most people in the comments are already always really good at telling who is at fault there. But yeah, I feel like that was a racing incident, but maybe just a little bit too greedy on my end there. I just really wanted this win, and I feel like I was quicker than him anyways. But he was just quick in the right spot. He was like slow and quick in the right spot. So I would gain on him on the apex, but then on exits he would pull away from me. But now you can see that we have clear track. We actually have a purple lap time and we're going faster still. But also, as you can see there, we have actually a lapped car. I believe he had some damage, had to pit for repairs, and then yeah, you're pretty much left out to dry by a pit crew, because pit stops take way too long in AC. But you can see that we actually lose the back end, and P2 is now actually right up our gearbox because of that crash I had with the previous leader. It's actually the GTR from the beginning. He tries to go around the outside of the chicane, but luckily we are able to keep it maybe side by side into this chicane. It's so tight. I give him enough room. I actually go off track by giving him room So yeah, I think you like that. We actually get another no time gamed warning there for going off the track. But yeah, the GTR is still right behind us, and if you guys didn't know, the GTR has one of the best straight line speeds of the whole grid. So this is definitely going to be interesting. He also brakes a lot later than us into the second to last corner there. He's still right on our bumper as we exit the final corner. You see that we did get a little bit of a better exit, and that actually means that we can maybe stay ahead into the next corner. I don't know. You can see here that the GTR's power is now really coming out. You can see that he's slipstreaming. I cover the inside, but I am trying to hold the inside. Oh, he tries to go on the inside there. He tries to go right the outside now, but I do a Max Verstappen and squeeze him onto the big curbs. There was no contact there, luckily, which is good for my safety rating. But I still keep P1 now. We're in lap 13 now, actually. Yeah, in the top left it says lap 12, but that's the amount of laps that have already been completed. So it's always that number plus 1. So we're now on lap 13. So yeah, this race really is interesting again for the lead. Oh, there you can see that he brakes a little bit late. I noticed that he was very strong on the brakes for some reason. Also into that second to last corner, he was able to brake so much later than me, and I already felt like I was on the limit. I already had like the softest brake pads on there, because you can actually the stock setup has endurance brake pads, which are well, they're less powerful than the ones I have on there right now. And of course, this is only a sprint race, so we are able to get away with running these softer brake pedals or softer brake pads. There, the lap car is finally getting out of the way. I actually had to flash him for quite a while. Because he just wasn't getting out of the way for some reason. But yeah, you can see that we actually have quite a comfortable gap now to P2. Oh, and it's the last lap, so now it's just a matter of bringing it home in my first proper race on LFM. I was so happy that I was in the lead, and I'm actually going green by more than 3 tenths, maybe even 4 tenths. There you can see 4 tenths already. So that would mean a 41.9, which is 41.6 actually, which is a really respectable lap time. That's right up there with the top guys from Split 1. Well, in terms of peak lap time, oh, you can see that we lose the back end just a little bit. Well, I actually had a look at all of the split times from the different splits, and the fastest guys in every split are actually about as fast, but it really gets the field gets more spread out in the different splits. If you go like down the field, like the people in split 1 are all within a second of each other, and here it's like 2 seconds, split 3 is like 3 seconds. So in terms of consistency, that's what really gets you into the higher splits. There you can see that I've actually cocked up this lap already, and we're now going red by almost a tenth. But yeah, I was really happy to be leading. I really didn't want to mess it up. I was feeling a little bit of pressure from behind because of the GTR, but for now it looks like we are going to win our first real LFM race on ACC. That's really a crazy thing to say, man. Even though it's split 2, I'm really happy that we are leading. Just 2 more corners to go now. You can see that we actually gain a lot of time there on the braking. We run a little bit too wide, but that's okay. We lose on the exit again. Now, final corner. Please don't spin. No, we don't. We get a little bit of a tail wiggle, but that's okay. And we are now going to the line to win our first LFM race that we ever take part in. Okay guys, so that was my first proper race in low fuel motorsports. I definitely did not expect to win so early on, but you guys do have to remember that this was only split 2. With that win, I'll probably get promoted to split 1 very soon, which will most likely be next week's video, but I won't be spoiling anything. If you look on the left there, you can see that we finished in P1 with the fastest lap time, with a 7/10 gap back to P2. After that it's like 4 seconds, 3 seconds, but if you go down to like P6, you'll see that it's a little bit glitched, because at this point, when I took the screenshot, not everyone had crossed the line yet. But hey, still P1, so I'll take it. Now guys, if you enjoyed watching this video as much as I loved making it, then please consider giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel and leaving a comment. For you it's only a few clicks and a few taps on your keyboard, but for me it literally means that I can continue pursuing my dream of one day becoming a real life racing driver. By the way, if you want to support my current kart racing in another way in exchange for some very cool benefits, check out the Patreon link in the description. There you'll be able to support me from as little as €5 per month, and you'll get some awesome benefits for that. There will be 2 other videos on screen right now that you might enjoy, but for now, that was it. Peace.